Hello, and in this week's Content Classroom, we're going to focus on the tools required to record video and why what you choose can be either very helpful, very technically complicated, or solve a lot of the problems that you might have around broadband bandwidth. So, first things first, if you're recording a video like this where it's just you, you're going to monologue to the camera, you've got maybe some talking points or a script, just record it on your computer on QuickTime or Windows Media Player, whatever's available to you. They'll normally record at very high quality with no issues whatsoever. So you don't need anything fancy if it's just you. However, when you come to then record with other people, so say you want to start a podcast or you want to interview someone, it becomes a lot more complicated very quickly. And a lot of people's natural response is to just do that on Teams or Zoom. Nobody ever uses Google Meet, by the way. Teams or Zoom and record the conversation. This is where the problems start to come in. So Zoom, I would say, is the much more capable of the two for these purposes. Zoom, you can set up to record in high definition if you have a license for Zoom, not just using the free version. And you will be able to set it up so that it can record the video streams locally to your computer and your guest's computer. Now that's important because if you have an internet problem, if you disconnect, if your bandwidth gets used up by somebody else watching Netflix, somewhere else in the house, it's not going to pixelate, it's not going to stutter, it's going to be a perfect quality recording. To set that up is quite complicated. I'm not here to show you how to do that today, but there are guides available on the internet to show you how to use Zoom effectively as a podcast hosting tool. The important part of that was when I said that you get 2 video streams out of that. Now, if you want to repurpose your video at any point, either now or in the future, you need 2 video streams. Because that means you can swap between cameras, it means you can cut to the other person whilst you're talking, you can both be full screen one at a time, you can split half screen. Whereas if you record either speaker view or gallery view on Zoom, for example, you'll be stuck with what's on the screen. And another workaround is that if you're using a lower quality camera, so a lot of people use their webcam on their laptop, which is 720p. That's what we call standard definition. Now that standard definition, when you stretch it, will start to look a bit pixelated. If you're putting 2 people side by side on the same screen, you're trimming off the edges, making them a bit smaller. Actually, that 720 can be converted into a 1080 output video, which is high definition. Right? It's not 4K, it's not ultra high or anything like that, it's just high definition. So that's much better standard, right? But ideally, both of you should be recording in 1080. Now, you need to check your camera. I have a Mac. The cameras on Macs are terrible. I have no idea why. When you pay the amount of money that you pay for them, you expect them to be better. Good news is, a 4K camera, webcam, is available on Amazon for £30 or £40. If you want a really good one, you can probably pay £100, £120. They're not that expensive. Worth investing in if you're going to be doing a lot of video. So I digress slightly. We want to look at separate video streams. Now, there are tools that specialize in this, and I'm going to talk you through the 2 main ones today. Very similar to each other. We've got Riverside and you've got Squadcast. Riverside is a standalone. They are very good at recording. They are what I'd say the premium version of what you're trying to do, and most people, you can pay for a license. I think it's about $30 a month for a standard license from them. You'll get full at least 1080 if not 4K recording capabilities, and it will do the job very well. There's an advantage to Riverside which I'm going to come back to in a moment. Squadcast is part of the Descript package, so if you pay for Descript as an editing tool, you'll get Squadcast for free. They've been bought by Descript a long time ago, and Squadcast are probably going to go away at some point and be replaced with the Descript version. Squadcast is very similar to Riverside in that, like we discussed earlier, it records locally on your computer, streams it to the cloud, and you get a high definition, high quality version with no blurring, pixelation or lag in the cloud, ready to download. The beauty of doing this with either one of these 2 platforms is they both have editing tools sat behind them, so you don't need to download the files, re-upload them again, wait for them to get into the cloud, all those things like you would with Zoom. What I will say is Descript can also import direct from Zoom as well. So you can set it up to take those files direct from Zoom. Food for thought. There's lots going on here, lots going on. It's not as simple as you might think from the outside. Now, the one thing to call out is if you're using Squadcast or Riverside, as you're recording with your guest, you might start to look a bit pixelated on the screen. That's perfectly normal, it's fine, it happens, because what it's doing is it's prioritizing that upload into the cloud. The very important thing to know is that you should wait until that upload has finished, completed completely, before you close your browser or your Riverside app. And the reason for that is it's still streaming. And if you close that, you run the risk of losing your video. Now, the reason I tend to send people to Riverside rather than Squadcast if they're inexperienced is that if that happens, Riverside has a feature that allows you to reconnect that stream at a later date. It saves that information on your computer and it uploads it to the cloud when you reconnect it. Squadcast, if you close the browser or your guest close the browser, it's gone. So you need to be very specific with them up front. You need to let them know about it. You need to walk them through it before you record so that they know what to do at the end. The vast majority, I reckon 98% of people, broadband is fast enough these days that as soon as you hit the stop button on the recording, their upload are almost finished instantly. So I've never come across a real problem with that. My broadband, on the other hand, is terrible. I can't get anything faster in my area just now, so I'm stuck with what I have. And this is the reason why I use these tools so heavily, is it allows me to have high definition recordings with other people. If you're going to be recording content with other people, you need Squadcast or Riverside, in my personal opinion. I don't think Zoom cuts it unless you're very good with Zoom and you know how to set up all the complex settings in the background. There are a lot. It's very easy to get overwhelmed in there. And you need an expert to help you set that up. Squadcast, Riverside are more or less plug and play. You send the guest a link. You can even schedule the recording sessions with your guests from within the apps. Any questions? Drop them in the comments below. If you're trying to use Squadcast or Riverside and you've got some questions, happy to try and help as much as I can. And hopefully you found today's guide useful going forwards. I will make sure that the links for Riverside and Squadcast are down below if you want to sign up for them. And I'll see you next week on Content Classroom. Bye-bye.